So today is Thursday, August 15th. Starting off with IWM, I took one trade to the downside, and then I missed my entry on the upside, which is all right. But I kind of learned my lesson, and I'll explain why I missed it as well. So starting off in the 4-hour time frame, we go over here, and you see exactly what happened overnight. We came into this imbalance right here. So obviously if you go on let's just say like a 12-hour time frame, we're able to see that this imbalance was formed. What day was this? This was on the 13th, so 2 days ago. That imbalance was formed, and you can see that price came right into that. And obviously when we enter an imbalance, automatically that either means it's going to inverse and continue down to the downside, or it's going to continue back. It's going to come into that imbalance and it's going to reject right off of it. So that's exactly what happened today. So moving on to the 1-hour time frame, we had news at around 7 a.m. and then we're able to see all this stuff right here. So we have this imbalance that got filled, and then we're able to see that there's this order block right here. So obviously with an order block, it's kind of like the same thing as an imbalance or fair value gap. It likes to reject off of it. So that's exactly what happened during pre-market. If we go on to a lower time frame, we can see that that news created a imbalance as well. So that's a 15-minute imbalance. By the way, if my chart looks a little bit different, it's because I changed up the colors. It's a little bit easier on my eyes. I had it like a blue and an orange for the post-market and pre-market, and it was kind of just ugly. So I changed it to like a gray. It looks a lot better now. Anyway, besides the point, made that fair value gap. And obviously, I knew instantly that we're going to want to come into that, because obviously what happens when a fair value gap or an imbalance is created? Always either wants to come into it or have a revert or inverse fair value gap. So let's just go down to replay mode and let's see what we could have done. So market opens. Okay, we have that gap that was created. Nothing there. Nothing really there. Okay, boom. So we have this. Obviously, it's not an inverse fair value gap technically. However, we have this huge imbalance that was created right here. And what I wanted to see is for another candle to close the below it, and then have it retrace back into this gap right here. So let's just see what happens. Boom, that's exactly what happened. So obviously it is a little bit before the time I trade, so it's at 8:40. However, when this was created, I knew instantly that this was going to be a good setup. So I took it at this candle right here, took it at the 50% mark, put my stops above the highs of the day, and then I put my take profits around the 75 mark around here. I put it at the imbalance, like the start of the imbalance right here, because I knew that this was a strong imbalance and we're going to want to reject off of it, because like I said, that was a 15-minute imbalance. So obviously 15 minutes are one of the strongest imbalances that it can happen. Obviously, if you're looking at a higher time frame, it's going to be even stronger. But since it's just a 15-minute time frame, it's pretty strong. So going back down to the 1 minute, let's just play it out and see what happens. I honestly didn't even want to take any partials off. I kind of just kept all of my contracts just to see what happens. So let's just play it out. I'm gonna go down to slow it down a little bit. All right, boom, there you go. So that's exactly what happened. And now, since we entered this 15-minute fair value gap, I knew that we wanted to rebound off of that. So I was looking for confluences to the upside. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so what just happened right there? We had a huge move to the upside, which became an imbalance. And now we're just looking for something to come back and fill that. So nothing there. Okay, so we have another imbalance that's created to the downside. Let's try to see if we can inverse that. Perfect. So now what we're going to try to see is that, okay, first off, we inversed this right here. By the way, I only took this trade to the downside. I wasn't paying attention to the charts at this time. I feel like I got a little bit overconfident at this trade, and I just wasn't paying attention. I wasn't using my full potential, so I missed out. So what happened here is that we had this imbalance, okay, and then it completely inversed it. We could see that the EMAs are tightening up, so automatically that already knows that we're going to have something to come back into it. Actually, I believe it was on the 3-minute time frame where we can actually see that price comes into it. Let's see. Okay, so it was actually at this candle. I'm sorry. I was not. I see right now I wasn't even paying attention. But what happens? It was on the 3-minute time frame, and this is exactly why I missed it, because I wasn't looking at a higher time frame. I was looking at the 1 minute, trying to see if I could find something that'll come back into either this imbalance or try to create another imbalance, and that's exactly why I missed it. So if you go onto the 3-minute time frame, you can see that this 3-minute imbalance was created. And then, let me just select the bar. Okay, boom. Obviously, that's a perfect confluence. EMA's tightened up and they're about to cross. If I were to take this trade, took the entry obviously at the 50% mark. I would like to put the stops below this candle right here, just if we wanted to build a little bit more liquidity. And I wanted to put the stops at the highs. And let's see what happens. Boom. So obviously, it's kind of my mistake for missing out on that. Learn my lesson. If you really wanted to, let's just see if you could try to target higher, because I believe it actually kept on going higher and higher. So let's just see over here. So let's actually go on to the 1 hour time frame. Let's try to see if we can find any kind of confluences that'll be a great take profit to go even higher. So we have, obviously we have this imbalance right here that we're actually looking potentially to fill. So I actually don't know. I haven't checked the market since I closed my computer. So I actually don't know if that got filled or not. So I actually have no idea what the market looks like right now, since we're in bar replay mode. So either that would be a great take profit, either like at the very top of this, at the very bottom, or like the very top of the fair value gap. Another good spot would be right here at the top of that at the top of the wick. And let's just say if it kept on going even higher and you had, let's just say, runners, probably even leave it all the way up to the top of that gap. So let's just actually see, let's go back to the 15-minute time frame. And let's see exactly what happened. That's it for today, or for now at least. So as you can see, I could have kept it to go even higher, maybe even after 1:30 once PM session comes into play. We could see a little bit more volatility in the market. But for now, that's what we're looking at. I was looking at taking shorts on QQQ. Reason being, we have a bunch of imbalances that we wanted to fill. So if we go on the 1 hour time frame, we see this huge imbalance right here. Obviously, we respected it. However, we completely inversed it, so that became an inverse fair value gap, and it just kept on going higher. So what my plan was, I wanted to see price come into that 50% mark, try to find a confluence that would take me to the downside. Unfortunately, there wasn't really anything, so I kind of stuck out of this one, which is good, because obviously my bias was completely wrong on this. There really isn't any confluences that will take me to the upside. I think that's just how the market wanted to be today. Obviously, if we're looking at something over here, we could see that there's, I'm sure if we go on to the, let's just say the 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame maybe. Yeah, obviously you could see right here. You can see we have all these imbalances right here. They're being filled, being respected, and then going to the upside. They're filling this other imbalance all the way up here. So, win for today, but I honestly consider that second IWM entry that I was looking for was a loss, because obviously I don't get FOMO, but it's just the fact that, you know, I wasn't paying attention. It's my fault. So, I miss out on this huge trade right here. It would have been phenomenal. But yeah, that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow.